Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it, and thanks everybody who's on this, participating in particular in the research reboot that's been going on all summer. In particular, I want to thank the Associate Vice Chancellor for Research, as well as the Associate Deans for Research for all the schools and colleges. It was really that team that designed the reboot of research on campus, developing the guidelines as well as the implementation plans. As you probably know, we went through different phases. We are currently in phase 2. In the previous phases, we were basically saying if you can do your research remotely, you must do it that way. Now we're in phase 2, which is a continued expansion of research, where we're recommending that if you can do your research at home or remotely, you should continue to do it that way. But we do understand that there are times when people might have to come in for a day and do some work, research work on campus. The great thing about going last, or the downside, is that you're looking at the clock and thinking, oh my goodness, I better be quick. So I'm not going to go into the details of the different phases. I'm going to jump right to the questions that we typically have been getting. The upside of, again, going last is many of the questions have already been touched upon by the previous speakers. I'm going to do just a couple that are really specific to research. I also want to point out that we do have a frequently asked question page on the research reboot page. One question we've been getting is with regard to parking. Margaret already touched a little bit about that. The background here is that the questions that are coming up about parking are with regard to, in order to conduct research safely, many labs are extending the workday in which research groups have employed people coming in order to reduce the density on campus. So they're working in staggered shifts. Many also don't want to be taking public transportation. Again, I'm going to tip my hat to the transportation services. They've been very flexible in working with parking. So some of the surface lots will be available after hours parking. Of course, where some of the research sites are, they don't exactly match up. So we are recommending that they take a look at one of the new passes they have, where for $45, there are evening parking permits that are valid after 4:30 p.m. So that's, I think, a good option to help address some of the issues with regard to research that's being conducted off of normal hours. They also have a night surface lot parking permit. That's a little bit more expensive, on the order of $130 per year instead of $40 per year. We're also getting questions about PPE ordering processes with regard to research, recognizing that PPEs are now being distributed very broadly. And again, I think the centralization of ordering the PPEs is a good thing, and that'll be done for research as well, so we can monitor the availability all the way across campus. And then the other question that we're getting, as you might expect, since research has been going on throughout the summer, there are questions about what happens when the undergraduates return to campus and they start coming to class as well. So again, we're suggesting that if you do have a building in which there are research activities as well as classrooms, to find out when those classrooms are being full, and therefore you know when the changes are going to be occurring within the building, and coordinate the research movement within the building with that class change as well. We're also suggesting that signage be put up in the building where we have that mixed usage in order to steer students who are attending in classes away from the research areas. And so with that, I'm going to, again, thank everybody who has really played an active role in rebooting research. I want to point out that, yes, some research has stopped, but a lot of research has continued and has been very successful. As one metric, in response to this pandemic, we have had 38 new grants associated with COVID-19, totaling about $24 million, and there are 286 pending as well. So a lot of activity going on. And again, I appreciate everybody, and I'm going to turn this over to the monitor to deal with questions.